what's up everybody? This is France over here from PlayerEssence.com and PE Reviews. Welcome to another Road to E3 PE discussion. And today we're going to be talking about the games that I feel Nintendo is going to be bringing at this year's E3. Like I've stated before, this is probably one of the most important E3s in Nintendo history. I think that Nintendo really needs to deliver if they want to kind of turn things around with the Wii U. Now, the first game that I want to talk about on the Road to E3 here is going to be Miyamoto's new game. Now, this game, there's been a lot of speculation as far as what type of game this is. Now, of course, Shigeru Miyamoto, legendary producer, designer at Nintendo, has made some of the best franchises ever in games like Mario, and games like Zelda, and games like Pikmin. He's done so many great things, but at the same time, it's time for something new, and Nintendo even knows that. Miyamoto has already said that he's working on a new game. There's been a speculation that Miyamoto's new game is with Retro Studios. I don't know about that. I think there's something separate there. So what is Miyamoto's new game? What do you guys think it is? There's been speculation that it's even going to be a shooter. I don't know about that. Personally, I would like to see Miyamoto do a new action game. Maybe something like Kid Icarus on the Wii U. Something along that lines of action, kind of hybrid, loot collecting. Something like that would be really cool. I think Miyamoto's mind could create something like that. If it's not something, an action game or adventure game, I also like to see some type of RPG for Miyamoto. I think he hasn't really tackled that, subject since basically Zelda, which Zelda isn't even really an RPG. So I would like to see Miyamoto do something along the lines of that as well. Could we see a new platformer from him? Sure, he could have a new platformer, but I doubt it at this point, just because the amount of platformers Nintendo already has. I don't think that they're going to create another one, especially with if you look at the games lineup this year, I mean, Tropical Freeze is the platform that they have, but then there's a lot of indie platformers coming out as well. And Nintendo has like games like Monolith Soft's X, they have games like Smash Bros, they have Mario Kart, so it's kind of moving away from the platformer this year because last year was so heavily reliant on it. So I don't think it's a platformer either. Could it be a shooter? Possibly, maybe an RPG-ish shooter. I would love to see Miyamoto create his take of Mass Effect 3. Man, that would be something crazy. And you can always count on it having like great controls and stuff like that. So I'm excited overall. Let me know what you guys think Miyamoto's new IP is, what your ideas are, what do you think he's cooking up, because whatever he makes is probably going to be awesome. So let me know in the comment section below. All right, next we're going to move on to NFC projects now. This is near field communication. On the Wii U gamepad, there is near field communication. So where, let's say you have your Wii U gamepad right here, it's actually this thing. It's basically right here on the side, and basically what that does is anytime you put there can be like a toy, and if it has NFC capable technology, it'll be able to transfer into it. Think of like Skylanders, where you have those toys and it can transfer, and also Disney Infinity also uses the NFC technology. Now Nintendo's had that in there for a while and they haven't used it, but they have said that they are going to increase production. I wouldn't be surprised if they announced a new Pokemon game that uses it for the Wii U, and I think that would be a great place to start. Now they already have Pokemon Rumble U, but I'd say like a real big like RPG Pokemon game that uses it, like maybe even cards, specially marked cards, or even toys, and just sell both of them. That would be fantastic. But of course you can unlock Pokemon and capture Pokemon in the game, but if you want to just get like DLC or stuff like that, and that's purely for money-making purposes. They can just make it to where you can also unlock all the stuff in the game too. But at the same time, it's like, I think that the Pokemon franchise needs to come to Wii U, and I would love to see some integration within the Nintendo 3DS. I mean, there's so many vast possibilities, especially with Miiverse tying all of them together. I mean, NFC, Miiverse, 3DS, Pokemon X and Y. I would love to see that Pokemon X and Y port upgraded, NFC technology built in. That would be fantastic. And as far as other NFC projects, I'm not really sure what they can do. Now, they can integrate stuff with like the other games that are already out on the market. So like Skylanders, they can work out a deal to where you don't need a portal of power. Then that's like a big old huge thing that you put the Skylanders things on. You don't need a portal of power for it. You can just use the thing right there. So they can work out a deal with Activision for that. They can also do the same thing with Disney Infinity, because it looks like Disney Infinity 2 is also coming in. Of course, it's going to be on Wii U. So that can also be another project that they really want to show off, and that's fine. A nice block of the NFC technology would be good, because it's a feature that they're just not using. So you need to tell people, hey, this is the reason why you want a gamepad. You don't need a portal of power. Bam, you can just hit it right there on your on your Wii U, and you got yourself your Skylanders toys and all that stuff all transferred into the game. So that would be cool. The next project that I want to talk about is Retro's new game. So like Retro's new game, what is this thing? Now, like I said, I had sources before that have told me, you know, it's definitely Metroid. Then I've had sources that have told me it's Star Tropics. I've had sources that have told me it's a new IP or they're visiting Ravenblade. There's too many things, and that's why I'm not going to sit here like I did last year and make like, oh yeah, it's Metroid with the new engine. Now, the one thing that I can say is yes, they have a new Wii U engine that is awesome. I can say that's happening. All you have to do is look. I said, look at the people who they've hired before. Look at the people who they're hiring, you know, and who they continue to hire from places like Naughty Dog and Vigil, and people who have expertise in high quality graphics, people who have expertise in really complex engines like Naughty Dog's engine for Uncharted. So they continue to hire people like that because you know that they're building something big, their team is getting bigger, they got a brand new building, they're doing something, it's not a 2D platformer like Donkey Kong or anything like that. It's something different, it's something new. And I think we're going to see it at this year's E3. Nintendo needs to really bring out the big guns, and I think it's going to be Metroid. But I would not be surprised one bit if it's like a new action RPG, like they revisit the Ravenblade that they had once before. They revisit something like that. I would not be surprised if it's something like that. But I personally, I'm just excited. I want to see what they're doing. I want to see how it's going to turn out. And I really think that depending on what they show, depending on what Retro's new game is, that can really just shape the conference as a whole, you know, because last year people were a little upset when they announced Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and that's just because, you know, it's just another, you know, it's a 2D platform, which is fine, which is great. I mean, I love Donkey Kong, I'm playing it right now, but at the same time people were kind of expecting something different. So hopefully we get that new game that we were waiting for, because, you know, Donkey Kong's going to make them plenty of money, and they can use that money to hire more people and to put more money into the next bigger game, because they do need to make that money first. All right, so the last thing that I want to talk about is Mistwalker's new game. I don't know if this is going to be at E3 2014. I have no clue, but we all know that Mistwalker is working on a new game. Now, they haven't 100% confirmed it, but they've just been dropped. They've dropped off like nobody's heard anything about them. But they've said many times that the Wii U was perfect for what they want to do. And, you know, coming off of the last story and the success of the last story, let's not keep that lightly. The last story was a financial success for Exie. They said it's one of their most successful games ever. There's interest in there. It just came really late in the Wii's life cycle, and people pirated the heck out of that game. Millions of people pirated. So there's plenty of interest for a full-blown, maybe a Last Story 2, or for a new game in that world. Maybe Mistwalker's just new game, period. I mean, people just want to play what Mistwalker has. They're one of the few dinosaurs in the, you know, the industry, which they still create, not necessarily the old games, but they've been around forever. You know, Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, been around. You know, he's been around since the 80s, and that's what I mean by dinosaurs. They've been around forever. They know how to create a certain game. They know how to add new elements to that classic experience that Nintendo fans that are like me are really looking forward to, and just fans in general, just people in general want to just play their games. So, and I mean, if you play Lost Odyssey, then you know what I'm talking about. So I think we could see Mistwalker's new game at this year's E3, but I doubt it, but I hope we do. I'm really hoping for a sequel to The Last Story. That would be great. But if it was a new IP, or if it was even something else completely different, even if it was on a different system, maybe a sequel to Lost Odyssey, sequel to Blue Dragon, although I would like a Lost Odyssey sequel or something in the vein of that. But, you know, of course this is for Nintendo, and Lost Odyssey, that'd be an Xbox brand. But at the same time, you know, I just want to see what they have. I want to see them be successful. I love their studio. It's a small team. There's not a ton of people that work there, but they know how to craft a game. So that'll be interesting to see if we actually get Mistwalker's new game, whether it be from Nintendo or whether it be from Microsoft or Sony or somebody else. But anyway, let me know what you guys think as far as what Mistwalker's up to. Are you guys excited for that? And as far as the overall wrap-up here, what do you guys think? What are your impressions as far as the games go? What do you guys want to see? Now, I intentionally left out Star Fox, F-Zero, and games like that, some of Nintendo's older ones, because I've already done videos on that. But I'm going to do a whole nother video as far as the road to E3, talking about all of Nintendo's dormant franchises and what I want to see out of them, whether it's going to be at an E3 or at a later direct in the year in 2014. So don't think that I'm intentionally leaving out those, or I don't want to talk about those, because I already have. If you haven't checked it out, check out my one on Star Fox, and I'm going to be doing one on F-Zero. So trust me, those videos with those games are coming. All right. So that basically wraps it up here. Make sure you check out the description below. There you'll find playeressence.com. You can go there for all your news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. We've got plenty of new content coming. I pretty much upload videos every day. Make sure you like the video, share with your friends. Check out playeressence.com, and we will see you guys for the next video. Peace.